Hi there, I'm Tanmay, and I'm the girl who's gonna bring all your dream DIY creations to life with the help of crochet, one stitch at a time. So, in this particular video, we are going to be crocheting this really pretty bag. So, as you guys can see, it's a really pretty color as well. And this bag is just made out of three granny squares. This is one of the easiest patterns that I found for a bag, and it is completely customizable. The reason I say that is because I use the same pattern to make this bag and this pouch as well. So the pattern that I followed for both these things are the same, and look at the difference. So let's get crocheting, please. I'll just give you guys a little bit brief on how this pattern is going to work. So we're going to basically be having three granny squares, all of the same size. So the number of rows that you do is what is going to determine the size of the granny square. And you can do as many rows as you wish since the pattern is completely customizable. The same pattern will work irrespective of the number of rows that you do. So if you do less number of rows, you can maybe make something like a wallet or a card holder. And if you increase the number of rows, you can maybe make like a bag. So there are two types of patterns that you can follow depending on the yarn that you're using. So one of the pattern is if you're using a single yarn, that is one color or just one yarn throughout the entire square. And another pattern is if you want to switch between colors. So if you want to switch between two colors, then the pattern varies slightly. So I will be showing you how to do both these variations in this video. So let's get crocheting. So to start off with the granny square, we will first be making a magic ring. So let me just go really slow so you guys can see how it is done. We just hold the yarn like this, make a X, insert your hook into the space right here, pull over this strand of the yarn, just hold it there, and then we chain one. So the first round of this granny square is basically to build the four corners of the square. So after the chain one, we will be doing another chain. So a total of chain two. Then we'll be doing two double crochets into the magic ring. So yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull through, yarn over and pull through two loops and pull through two loops. So now we'll be doing another double crochet into the ring. After the two double crochets, we'll be doing chain two. So just yarn over and do two chains. After the chains are done, we'll be doing three double crochets into the circle. So yarn over and pull through. One, two, and three. Now we're going to repeat this pattern again. So we're going to do two chains and then we're going to do three double crochets again. So that's one, two, three. So after the three double crochets, we are going to do this pattern one more time. So chain two and we're going to do three more double crochets. And the last one. So once this is done, you can actually kind of see the way these spaces look. So these spaces are basically the corners of our granny square. So once you're done with the three double crochets, we are going to chain two again. And then this small strand of yarn, we're just going to pull to close off the magic ring. And we're going to slip stitch in this stitch right here. So the chain two that we did, we're just going to slip stitch in that space and just tighten it once again. So if you look closely, you can actually see it forming a square and these being the four corners of the square. So here we are done with the first round of the granny square. So after this, we're going to do two slip stitches in the next two stitches. So once you do a slip stitch in the chain two space, in this stitch and this stitch right here, we are going to be doing two slip stitches. So one slip stitch and 2 slip stitch. So the reason we do this is that for this type of granny square, it is always preferred to start your new row or start the next row from the corner. So since we have done the slip stitch here after round 1, we'll be doing 2 slip stitches in the next 2 stitches so that we can start our round 2 from a corner. So as you can see, this right here is a corner. So this is where we'll be starting our round 2. So for round 2, we'll be chaining 2. Now, one thing you have to remember that is constant throughout this pattern is that in every corner of the granny square, we are going to be doing 3 double crochets, chain 2, and then 3 double crochets again. So let me just show you once. So we have done a chain 2 here. This will be acting as our first double crochet. So after this, we are going to be doing another 2 double crochets. So 1 and 2. So once we are done with these 2 double crochets and the chain 2 that acts as a double crochet, so that's 3 double crochets, we are gonna chain 2 again, and now in the same space we are going to do another 3 double crochets. So 1, 2 and 3. So as you guys can see, in this one corner we have done 3 double crochets, a chain 2 and 3 double crochets again. Once you're done with this corner, we are going to chain 2 and we are going to do 3 double crochets in the next corner. So this corner right here, in this corner, we are going to be doing 3 double crochets again. So 1, 2, 3. After these 3 double crochets, we are again going to chain 2 and do another 3 double crochets all in the same corner. So this particular pattern is what makes a corner. 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So these set of stitches are what we should be crocheting in every corner. So now since this is just the second row, we have 4 corners only, and in every corner we are going to be doing these set of stitches. So again, after we are done with the second corner, we are again going to be chaining 2, doing 3 double crochets in the next corner space. So that's 1, 2 and 3. We're going to be chaining 2 again, and we're going to be doing 3 double crochets again. So once we are done with this, we are going to chain 2 again, yarn over and do 3 double crochets in the next corner space. 1, 2, 3. After the 3 double crochets, we're going to chain 2 and another 3 double crochets. After you're done with this corner, again, you're going to be chaining 2 and do a slip stitch in the chain 2 space like this. So now as you can see, we have 4 corner spaces right here. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So 4 corner spaces right here, and we also have 4 other spaces. So now once you're done with this, you should always remember to start a new row in a corner space. So since we are here right now, to start our row, we are going to slip stitch till we reach this corner space. So we are going to be slip stitching in 2 stitches. That's 1 and 2. So after the 2 slip stitches, you see that we have reached the corner space. So we can just chain 2. So after the chain 2, the pattern in every corner space is the same. So we do 3 double crochets, then 2 chains, and then 3 double crochets again. So once you're done in the corner space, we are going to chain 2. So one thing that stays constant throughout the pattern is the chain 2 after every 3 double crochets. No matter which part of the square you're on, after 3 double crochets, there's always a chain 2. So after this chain 2, you see that we are in this space right here, and this is not a corner space. So in this, we are just going to be doing 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3. So in this space, all we do is 3 double crochets, and then we are going to chain 2. Now after reaching the corner space, we're going to follow the same pattern of 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets. So every time you reach a corner space, you have to do 3 double crochets, chain 2 and 3 double crochets, and every time you are in the space that is not a corner space, you have to do just 3 double crochets and a chain 2. So I'll meet you once this row is done. So as you guys can see, I'm almost done with my row 3. I just have one more space left to crochet in. That is a non-corner space. So I just do 3 double crochets and chain 2. So after the chain 2, I'm going to be slip stitching in this space right here of the chain 2. And then I'm going to be doing 2 slip stitches in the next 2 stitches to reach the corner space. So like I said, you should always start a new row from a corner space. So for the purse that I'm making, I will be doing a total of 8 rows. So I'm just going to continue doing this till I am done with 8 rows. So if you're finding a difficulty in counting rows, do not count them horizontally or vertically, just count them diagonally. So if you count them diagonally, 1, 2, 3. So you can see that this is, I'm done with my third row. So the number of rows that you want to do is completely up to you. And depending on the size of your granny square, you can either make it a wallet or a purse. So I'll be crocheting 8 rows for my purse, and you have to do 3 of these identical granny squares. So if you decide that you want to do 10 rows or 5 rows, you just have to make sure that all the 3 granny squares that you'll be crocheting should be of the same size. Once you're done with these 3 granny squares, I'll show you how to put together the wallet or the purse that you're making. So like I mentioned in the starting that there's a slight variation in the pattern if you're going to be switching colors. So here I have already done the first row using this color. The pattern for the first row remains the same that I've shown you before. So you take the second color that you want to use or the color that you're going to switch with, and you hold up this leftover strand of yarn right over the corner like this. Just hold it up like this, and you basically pull this yarn through the corner, and you just have to make sure that this strand of yarn that you have left over from the previous row is also here, and you can just tie a knot over both of them like this. So you can see that this yarn is right here, and I'm using this to tie a knot. And once you're done with this, you can just insert the hook in this corner and pull up the yarn like this and chain 1. And then now just make sure that you hold both these yarns together, and whenever you're pulling up a loop through the corner, just pull it up over both the yarns like this, and then you can do a double crochet. So if you see, I've pulled up over both these strands of yarn. So this way you can avoid weaving in ends, and this is what you do if you want to switch colors. The only difference is basically that when we are not switching colors, we do the 2 extra slip stitches just to reach the corner. But when we are switching colors, it's a little bit easier since we can just start crocheting from the corner and continue. The rest of the pattern remains exactly the same that we did previously. So guys, here as you can see, I am done with my 3 identical granny squares. So I ended up doing 6 rows instead of 8 because I did one with 8 and I realized that I didn't want my back to be that big. So I cut it down to 6. So I ended up doing 6 rows for all these 3 squares. Now I'll just show you how to put them together. So no matter what the size of the square is, you can still use the same pattern. So what we're gonna do is we're first gonna fold these into half like this. So fold it into half, make sure the corners meet like this, and keep it at the end here. Okay, take another one, fold it into half again, and just align these two like this. Okay, and then we take another one, fold it into half again, and align these two right here. So this is how the bag is going to look in the end. So now we basically have to sew together these granny squares, but make sure that you align the stitches well. So to align the stitches well and to not make mistakes in the count, I would suggest you guys start from one corner and then just make sure to have all the stitches like this right next to each other, so you get an idea if the stitches are well aligned or not, and keep it in this shape itself, so you'll get an idea of how to crochet the sides together. So when you put them in this pattern, just make sure that the good side is facing out. Like as you can see here, yarn ends and everything are here, and I have made the good side face out. So just make sure you do that. And now I'll show you how to sew these things together. You can either use a hook or you can use a needle. I prefer to use a needle. So take your yarn and just insert it into the needle. And I just like to tie a knot. Just maybe tie 2 knots to make sure that it's secure. And once you're done, just hold up this corner and this corner and these two corners as well. And then when you hold it up, you realize that you have to sew these two ends together. Just for your ease, you can hold it up like this and you just insert the needle from one end over here to another end like this, and just pull up a little bit and keep it there. So again, like you can see, you shouldn't be inserting your needle like this, but rather you should be inserting from this loop and this loop, the loops next to each other of the both stitches, and just pull. Okay, do the same now. So it'll be this loop and this loop, and just pull. So just keep doing this all around, and if you look at it, this is the end that we are sewing. And just once you're done with this end, put the bag again in place and decide which to put together next. One other suggestion that I have for you guys is that you can start stitching from this corner right here, stitch all the way up and then stitch it down. So once you reach here, flip your work and stitch like this and like this on the other side as well. So this way, in just one stretch, you can get done with the entire stitching process. So I'll just meet you once I'm done with this. So guys, this is how the bag looks once I'm done. And now we are going to be crocheting the handle. So to crochet the handle, what we're going to do is just pick out one corner. So I'm taking out this corner, and into this corner stitch right here, what we're going to do is we are going to just tie up the yarn that we are going to be using for the handle. Just make 2 knots right in the corner space of the bag. So just in this corner space, we have made 2 knots, and now I am going to chain one. Now in the same corner space, I'm going to do 5 half double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now once I'm done with the 5 half double crochets, I'm going to chain one and do another 5 half double crochets all across. So you basically have to continue building up rows like this. So consider this as the first row. I did 5 half double crochets, but if you want the strap to be a little thicker, you can do more. So just chain one, turn your work, and do 5 half double crochets as the next. So just do a row of half double crochets basically. Just make sure to do the same number of half double crochets all across. Now, as you can see that this is how it looks. So now I'm just going to continue building up the 5 half double crochets till I reach a desired length. So I'm just gonna keep doing this till I feel like that is the height of the bag that I want. So I'll meet you once I'm done. So I have reached my desired length of the handle. So this is how I want the bag to look. I'm going to do 5 half double crochets into the corner space of the opposite side. So we basically started from this corner space with 5 half double crochets. The number of half double crochets that you want to do is up to you. So if you want the strap to be a little wider, you can do more stitches as well. So I did 5 half double crochets into this space and I built up the rows. So to join this strap to this end of the bag, what we are basically gonna do is just hold up that corner space exactly like this, okay? And hold up your yarn like this. Now what we are basically gonna be doing is you insert your hook into the corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through. This is for the first stitch. Now for the second stitch, insert your hook into the stitch on the strap and then insert your hook into the corner space as well. So you basically insert your hook together into the strap as well as the corner space and then pull up a loop and pull through. So let me just show you that once again. So as you can see, this is the third stitch right here. Insert a hook into the stitch and then into the corner space, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through. So this till you finish all the stitches on your strap. So here I'm in the last one and then pull up a loop. So now you can see that the strap is completely joined to the corner space right here. And this is how my bag looks at the end. So after the handles here, right here, you can see that these edges are a little uneven and very thin, right? When we have a bag, we need the edges to be a little more stiff and a little more thicker. So now what we're gonna do is we're basically gonna be crocheting along this edge right here so that we get a little bit more thickness and a little bit more sturdiness to the bag. So what we're gonna do is start from this corner space right here, the same one that we had crocheted our handle into. So just take your yarn, put it into the corner space and tie a knot. And then once you're done with the knot, you're just gonna insert the hook into the corner space, yarn over and chain two. After the chain two, we're going to be doing half double crochets in every stitch till we reach here. So just continue doing half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull through all. So just keep doing half double crochets all along this line and I'll meet you once I reach here. So every time you reach a space, I know it can be a little hard to get into these chains. So in that case, you can just do 2 half double crochets in every space and it'll look like this in the end. Like this. Now once we reach the corner, what we are basically gonna be doing is we're gonna do half double crochets itself, but we're gonna do them into this stitch right here. So just to show you guys, you see this little space here? There's one here as well. So you just have to basically do half double crochets into that space. So once you look at it, you can see that it's getting a little bit of a V shape. So when we continue doing it like this, you'll get a little bit of a V shape. So this is how it looks like. And then I'll just meet you once I reach this end to show you how to continue back. So as you guys can see, I started from this end and I've almost reached the other end. Once you reach the other end, you just have to remember to do a half double crochet into the space where you did the handle, just like this. So it looks complete. So this is how the side looks in the end. So you can see that there's a huge difference between this side and this side. This looks way more defined and it looks a little bit more sturdy as well. Now the number of rows that you want to do like this on either side is up to you. So to do the next row, what you can do is just chain two and turn your work around and just keep doing half double crochets all along now. So this is the way you will be doing for just one side and you can start again same on the other side as well. I think I'll be doing about 3 rows maybe, and the number of rows you do is completely up to you again. If you feel one is enough for you, or if you want to do more than three, it is completely up to you. So I'll meet you once I'm done to show you how it looks. So as you remember, for the first row, we basically did two half double crochets into this space. But from the second row onwards, you're supposed to do only one. So to turn two stitches into one, what you can do is yarn over, insert your hook into the first stitch, yarn over and pull through. And then yarn over again, insert your hook into the next stitch, yarn over and pull through, and then pull through all of them. So you can see that this gives a definite V shape here, because if you keep crocheting two stitches in this corner, after a point of time, it'll kind of just start maybe piling up like this. So it's always better to do one in this corner rather than two. So as you can see here, I'm done with my 3 rows, and you have to remember to do a half double crochet in the space of where we crochet the handle, the corner space basically, because see, this is how it looks when you do the half double crochet, and this is how it looks when you don't, right? So I just showed, just to show you guys, I've done this. So it's better you do the half double crochet into the handle, so you have like a definite end to it rather than it just hanging off like this.